My name is Chijioke. People call me CJ when they can't pronounce my name, but it's Chijioke as in Chijioke. And yeah, I live in Abuja. What do I want to talk about? Maybe stop recording, let me think about, or you can keep recording, let me think about it while you record. How about that? That's actually something. Maybe I don't want to talk, maybe I just want to think. That's an experience, that's an interesting experience. You know? Like people can watch me think. Just watching someone else think, that's something, right? Like, what is he thinking? It's not easy being a person. It's not as easy as it looks. Being a person is hard. Being a decent person now, that's a challenge. That's even harder. I think it's pretty easy to be a shitty person. But being a decent person, man, takes doing. And I think that's important to me. I want to be, I'm striving to be. I don't think I am yet. I think I'm still a shitty person. What makes me think so is that a decent person wouldn't use as much plastic as I've used this week without batting an eyelid. Like a decent person wouldn't eat beef knowing what goes down before that beef hits the plate. You know, I know and I still eat beef. A decent person like might even be ignorant of certain realities. You know what I mean? We tend to alienate ourselves a lot and feel like our experiences are super unique to the point that we're so different from everyone else, and then we even sometimes become really self-indulgent in that thinking and feel like, okay, maybe we're more important. Then the grand scheme is like none of us are that important. Nothing is that important under the sun. It's it's just what it is. Like most people are shitty people if you really think about it, because we waste so much, we just don't care, we don't give a shit. We literally are so shitty that we do not give a shit. That's like how shitty it is. Or we give too much of a shit about too many things that might not be so relevant in a particular moment, and it's like giving too much of the shit, and it's like, wow, you had this much shit all along and you didn't give any, and now you're like talking all this shit. So it's like insane. It's weird. We're living in a very, very complex and intense time. I think everybody who's ever lived would tell you that about their time. So that's relatable. What were we talking about? Being a shitty person and being a decent person. Yeah, it's just in trying to help out, trying to be compassionate. Like that's hard, man. But that's like the borderline. That's the baseline of what we owe each other. If you really think about it, that should be like the baseline where we start. But then we've found ourselves like way below that collectively. And I'm saying this like as a person who has fucked up in terms of, can I use expletives? Okay. I should try not to. I hear it's like a mark of laziness in the use of language if you resort to expletives. What I mean is I have failed to live up to that baseline as it should be, you know, in my day-to-day relationships with people. And I know this. So it's about just being better daily, consistently, to a point where it's now, okay, doing more than the bare minimum of just showing kindness and compassion to people. And there's like, why are these things all of a sudden so expensive? Why is there all this like just vicious approach towards even what should be peace-seeking? I don't know. Take a look around and just for a moment and really see things for what they are. And it's pretty clear that we all need the same things. Working more towards that, I think, is like a really great North Star if anyone ever needed it. And that's what I'm finding for myself. Because, I mean, you can, of course, personal comfort is literally at par with that, because that's what it's all about. It's like everyone having these things, not just me or not just the select group of people, but just understanding that, man, things are really, really intensely difficult in the world we live in, and that means everybody has to play a role somehow. But then finding space in our self-consumed world to just notice that and take responsibility every now and then, that's a huge thing for me that I think is where I'm trying to get to, and it's hard. I've not succeeded. I don't know if I'm succeeding. I think I'm striving to even get on the path. It's hard to not be selfish or dispassionate. The world is very weighty, and if you try to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, you're gonna crumble sooner or later. So it's like a tough act to balance when you think of being compassionate and aware of needs and being responsible, like in terms of just what natural responsibility looks and feels like, and also being stable enough to do this thing, like in terms of being able to actually wield power, let alone even obtaining it. That's what being a decent human being means, I think. For me, is probably getting to a point where I can say that, yes, I am such a person who is doing my bit effectively in terms of truly helping people who need help, and then going beyond that, like really just striving for empowerment for everyone. It's a bit sad, and I didn't want to begin on a morbid note, but I might end on one. The level of difficulty in terms of achieving this goal is one where you're really in a race against time. So that's the other measure that you have to kind of just take note of. So when you look at your North Star and you look at how much room you actually have on the track, how much time you have to do X, Y, and Z, then that's where all these other elements come in, like prioritization and really living purposefully, what we call that. And that, I think, is that's where most people want to be, and that's where I find I want to be as well. So, okay.